What's going on, everybody? This is Rob here from WD Games, hitting you back with another video. And today we're here to talk about the future of 7 different Nintendo franchises, and what my opinion is on where the franchise will go from here and what it will look like. I'm gonna say, like, let's just say 10 years down the road, 2030, 2035. Somewhere in that range, and see what's going on at that point in time. We will start with Super Mario Bros. So Mario Bros is at an interesting. You'll see a theme throughout this video. I think Nintendo's at an interesting crossroads in time, where they can basically go on forever, but at the same time they have a lot. They're hitting a wall with a lot of their franchises because they've been doing the same thing for 30 years with a lot of different franchises. So we will see. But with Mario Bros, I think that they're still going to be around in 10 years. I think that we're getting to a point where every game's kind of the same. So I almost think for Mario Bros, and I guess let me back up a little bit. This is also going to be my opinion on what they should do business-wise. Going forward with this. I almost think with Mario Bros, though, it's time to introduce, you have this whole universe where you're not tied to, like, with Zelda, you basically have to do the Zelda and Link story every single, some iteration of that every single game, or it's just not going to make sense. Whereas Mario, I don't think you have to do the Bowser and Princess Peach story every time. I think you could introduce new villains and new adventures for Mario that are completely separate from what's going on, and you could introduce even whole new characters that would make the platformer more interesting, because we kind of know at this point, if you unlock Yoshi, you're going to be able to bounce and eat stuff. If you unlock Peach, you're going to be able to float a little bit. Like, it's kind of a formula that's just kind of there now, and it's not a forever formula. Like, if there is an end to that formula where people are just going to stop buying the game because it's the same thing every time. So I think that they can do a whole new thing with Mario. I think that, obviously it's still going to be a platformer. Obviously Mario is still going to be your protagonist, and obviously he's going to be able to, he's going to have to defeat, whatever villains are in his way, jump on top of them, like the same game mechanics. I'm not saying change that up, but what I'm saying is that you can introduce more story into the games and introduce more for people to do in the games. Like, for example, it was at Mario 3D World. What was it? There was one of the games where there was like some random side stuff you could do, and some of you had to do to get through the game. Like the you were like having to go on like this inner tube, and basically you're basically having to go on this inner tube and race people. Like, that's all it was. It was just a race in an inner tube in water, and it was, like, at the end of the day, it was just something to mix it up. And I'm not saying we need an inner tubing Mario game, but what I'm saying is that there can be changes made where the formula is not exactly as monotonous as it has been previously. It can be a little bit more open-ended. Whereas you can do a little bit more with it. Any diamonds down here? I don't see diamonds. I just see this down here, and that's scary. But we'll get this piece of iron. Sorry guys. I'm going to get distracted at least a couple times per video. Next up is Smash Bros. I don't know how to really tell you to extend Smash Bros further. Like, I'm not sure how to tell you to do something different with Smash Bros that you haven't already done. What I think you do is you take the Tekken Mortal Kombat formula and basically just re-release Smash Ultimate over and over again every year for the next, like, every 10 years or so. Not even 10 years, like, just a few years, honestly. Like, every, couple years, you just have to release a new game with updated graphics, updated roster, if any new, like, for example, if you update your Mario franchise and you get new villains and new stuff, you can introduce those characters into Smash Bros. And I think that's kind of where you are with Smash Brothers at this point. Is you're just kind of revamping the game every so often, and it's gonna last. Each iteration of the game is probably gonna last like 10 years, like 8 to 10 years, because you don't need a Smash Brothers game every 3 years. And honestly, if they announce a new release at this point, the only thing we would be excited about is new mechanics. So like, that's kind of where we are at this point. And I think that's fine, honestly. Like, it's always nighttime. It's like, there's no reason why it can't just be that. Why can't Smash Bros just be that kind of style of gameplay where that's just what it is? Zombie just watching the sunset. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about Smash Brothers, to be honest with you. Like, it's just kind of, it is what it is. Like, it's Smash. it's just very. There's not a lot of different things you can do with that formula that's really gonna move the needle that much. So that's kind of where I am with that. I don't need a sword. We'll just go pickaxe and then an axe. Sorry, I'm getting distracted yet again. More distractions. Alright, now I got iron tools. Cool. Put these feathers up. Cobble, copper. Okay, anyways, moving right along. On to Mario Kart. Mario Kart is similar to Smash, but I feel like there's so much more, because there's no end to the amount of, like, yes, in Smash you can release new stages, and, you know, like, I mean, there's little stuff you can do. You know, and even new items for the people that play items and stuff. Like, there's small stuff that you can do to improve the quality of the, or, you know, to give new content. But with Mario Kart, like, a new track a new Mario Kart track is way more refreshing content than a new Smash Brothers stage, if that makes sense. Because, like, it's more game changing to have that, you know, to have like a whole new track where you got to learn the track, you got to learn shortcuts, you got to learn where all the items are, you got to learn where to slide. Like, there's a lot of mechanics in Mario Kart that you can really do, and you can do that for an infinite amount of time. There's no limit to what you can do. But the question becomes, and I think they kind of learned this with Mario Kart 8, is how often do you really need to release a new game? And like I said, you'll see a theme with these Nintendo games. How often do you really need to release a brand new game to... I want to dig this out so I can have some dirt. Sorry. How often do you need to release a new game in order to keep it fresh, if that makes sense? Like, can you just keep releasing DLC on the same game? My answer is yes on that. Like, there's no reason why you need a completely new game every single time you want to release a few new tracks. Like, there's really, honestly, I mean, I'm very much a believer in the Minecraft Fortnite game release style, where you release the game, maybe not for free. Like, I think you charge the $70 for the game. But people aren't going to have a problem paying $30 for DLC every 6 months or every year for a game if it's a game they enjoy. Like, if they're getting new content and they don't have to pay the full price of a game, people aren't going to be mad about that. Like, they were, you know, 10 years ago when DLC was a new concept. But nowadays, I mean, DLC is accepted now. It's like, I always compare it to like the new iPhone update. Like, people always say every single time a new iPhone update comes out, they're like, oh, this update's trash, this is terrible, they've ruined the iPhone, I'm getting an Android, you know, blah blah blah. But after a month, they're like, oh, it's fine, like, it's just a new update. It's just new stuff. Like, why would I be mad at new stuff? And that's kind of how I feel about DLC. Like, I'm in the same kind of boat with that, and I just think it's dumb when people complain about DLC. Like, it's literally, it's just new stuff. Like, why would I be mad at new stuff? And that's kind of how I feel about DLC. Like, I'm in the same kind of boat with that, and I just think it's dumb when people complain about DLC. Like, it's literally, it's just new stuff. Like, why would I be mad at new stuff? Like, it's literally new content for cheaper than the price of a game. So yeah, I think that Mario Kart's in that kind of light where you can just maybe release Mario Kart 9 to refresh everything, because Mario Kart 8 is like 10 years old at this point. And then after that, what's really the point of continuing to release Mario Kart games? Like, honestly, like, let's be real. What's truly the point of more Mario Kart releases after that, other than just cash grab? Like, I mean, to be honest, that's just what it is. Next up on my list is Splatoon. Splatoon's weird because it has that competitive scene that you can pretty much always update. Like, you can always give new content for a competitive scene forever and always. Amen. There it is. I knew that was one somewhere because it wasn't disappearing. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, like I said, you can always release new content for a competitive game, and people won't really stop playing it. Especially if they're really into it. They're just going to play that same game forever. Like, look at Fortnite, look at your Call of Duty games. Even though I know they release a new Call of Duty game every year, let's be real, they're still playing Call of Duty. Like, Call of Duty has a weird formula where they don't release DLC and they just release a brand new game every single year, and people just keep buying it. It's just such a weird formula. It's literally the Madden formula, which we can get into that too. Like, I have the exact same opinion of Madden and 2K and FIFA and every other sports title, where I'm like, dude, just release one game and update your rosters every year and charge $50. Like, people would probably pay the same $70 that they're paying for a game. I would. If there was one 2K game and I thought that the actual game itself might hold some sort of value, because it's the only way to get 2K is to buy 2K, I would be way more inclined to actually pay $60 a year to update my game, update rosters, get the new draft picks, get everything in there. There'll probably be a new story mode every year. Like, I would do it. You basically release a whole new game into every single year. Like, why would we not do that? So yeah, I mean, like, Splatoon's kind of, but back to the topic, like, yeah, Splatoon is a little strange, because I'm not sure exactly where you're headed with Splatoon. Like, are you even going to is there even going to be another Splatoon game, or are we just done with them? Like, why do you need another? I don't know. Like, it's weird. The concept is there, and it's really, an interesting take on a shooter game. And it's very Nintendo. Like, it makes a lot of sense that there's a new Nintendo, whatever. But there's really no single player, and I mean, I just don't know how much content there is, to be honest. I don't want to say it's dead, because honestly, Splatoon's the best IP that they've come out with, like, in a very long time. And I fully stand behind them on that. I just don't know how much more there is to it. Like, I think it's kind of run its course at this point. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's just where we are with Splatoon. I mean, it's just the nature of it. Let's get these saplings. I'm actually going to travel over to that bamboo forest, because I think I can get there and back before nighttime and get some bamboo. Because that would be nice to start a bamboo farm. I think I have enough redstone and iron and stuff that I can do that. Anyways, yeah, I mean, not a whole lot to say about Splatoon. Next up would be Metroid. Metroid's timeless. You can keep releasing Metroid games as many times as you want. To be honest, like, you can release Metroid forever, and you're not gonna release. It's not a yearly release. That's not an option. But it is every 5-year release. Let's say, you can release a new Metroid game and just update the platformer, give us some new levels, some new content, and it'll be perfectly fine forever. Like, there's no downside to that. I'm gonna get like a stack, and we'll just grow from there. Like, bamboo farms are easy. Yeah, that's more than a stack. All right. Can I find some sheep around here? Yeah, so that's Metroid. And then the two big ones, Zelda and Pokemon. So, The Legend of Zelda, this might surprise you because if you know me, Zelda's my favorite game franchise of all time. But I don't know how you top Breath of the Wild. Like, Tears of the Kingdom is inherently a better game than Breath of the Wild, like on all fronts, but it wasn't nearly as successful. I mean, I'm not saying numbers wise, like sales wise, it wasn't successful, but it didn't have the same critical acclaim because people didn't need another Breath of the Wild. Like, we just got that, and you can remake all the games, so like that buys you another 5 years or so. But once you do that, what do you do from there? Like, what's next on the docket after that? Like, you've kind of done it. Like, I wouldn't really know what to tell you. Like, what's next? Oh God. Anyways, I really just want some iron, but I don't want to travel down there to get iron. So my idea for Zelda is essentially revert back, like revert game state in card player terminology. I think you need to take a step back. You might release a Breath of the Wild level game once every 4 Zelda games, so like once every 10 years. But if you're going to do an every other year release, I think you need to take a step back and release a game more along the lines of a Coco. Sorry, I'm just trying to collect everything while I'm over here. I think you release more of a whatchamacallit, a Twilight Princess. Sorry. I think you release more of that model, honestly, like at this point in time. I really don't want to die with all the new stuff I just got, so let me figure out how to get home. Sorry. If this video runs a little long, it's because I got lost in the jungle. How did I get lost? I have the worst sense of direction of all time. Y'all are probably sitting there staring at my screen like, you are a complete idiot. Like, why do you not know how to get home? And that drives me insane. It's driven me insane my entire life, and I don't know how to change it. I just cannot find out where I'm going when I need to get somewhere, and it's terrible. It's gotta be this way. No, it wasn't this way. I definitely didn't pass Potzel. This is terrible. Alright, anyways. On to Pokemon. Pokemon, it has the perfect formula. I can't even deny it. They have, as long as they can keep coming up with ideas, they literally have an infinite formula that can just go on for another 60 years, and it's never gonna die. Like, it is honestly the perfect formula for a video game franchise where they can release content for literally ever. Like, there's no end to the content to Pokemon, basically. Like, it's timeless. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you can keep releasing that exact same game with the same stupid gym leaders and the same easy content that we've had for literally ever, and people are still going to buy it, and people are going to be happy. They're going to be excited about it. That's just the bottom line. Oh, cool. Got half another portal thing. Is there a chest? Don't these usually come with chests? Or is it just the obsidian? Oh, well. Yeah, I mean, Pokemon's probably in the best shape of any Nintendo franchise that we talked about today. I just don't see... you just released Gen 9, you just released DLC for Gen 9, and people are genuinely, just excited about more Pokemon. And probably will be for the foreseeable future. It's perfect. It's a perfect franchise. I'm not saying the games are perfect. They're absolutely not perfect. But the franchise itself, from a business standpoint, is the perfect formula. Like, it's so good. Like, how did they manage to make over 1,000 Pokemon and people are still excited about Pokemon? Just because they want to do the exact same adventure with the exact same objective, but with new characters. And honestly, like, if we tie this into some of my opinions on other franchises, like Mario, for example, at the very beginning, Mario is the same formula where it's literally the same game every time. You're just re-releasing the same game over and over again. But Pokemon has it figured out because they're releasing new characters and new things to collect. They have shinies to hunt. They have new areas to explore. You always want to find out what the new team is and what they're up to. So, like, every single generation, even though you're essentially playing the same game with updated graphics, has a reason to play the game. And that's something that no other franchise, probably in video game history, can say. Like, that's just where Pokemon shines that nobody else can. I'm so lost. Well, I guess we're just gonna call it lost for today. And I'm gonna get shot by this skeleton. I'm gonna go jump in this water. I'm gonna go try to find somewhere safe to go, and I'm gonna head out for the day. Like, I'm gonna log out of this server really soon because otherwise I'm gonna die with all this new stuff that I just collected, and I'm gonna hate myself. And there's a guy with a trident. Oh God, please don't kill me. No, no. This is terrible. Alright, well, that's going to be it for today. We'll see next time. If I show up with all this new stuff, you'll see if I actually survived. But that's going to be it for today. So let me know what your opinion is on the future of Nintendo franchises. Where are they headed? Which ones have longevity? Which ones are nearing their lifespan? Just let me know. Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Go join our Discord if you want to go play some esports or just hang out with gamers. If you want to join this server, that's part of the Discord as well. So yeah, just let us know. Let us know how you're feeling. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments. But thank you so much for watching. This has been Rob from WD Games, and as soon as I get away from this skeleton, we are going to sign out. Thank you so much, guys.